No.
Are we there yet?
No.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
No, we're only halfway.
Are we there yet?
You're halfway. Hola, buenos dias.
Good morning, hello.
We are in Carrión de los Condes, and today we are walking to Ledigos.
We're standing in front of the sign that says 401 kilometers. So we are about approaching halfway. I mean, it depends on what sign you read.
And where you started.
Where you started and what guidebook you're reading. And it depends on, I don't know, what kind of mood someone was in when they made the marker.
We have a 23-kilometer walk today. The biggest challenge is that the first 17 kilometers have no services whatsoever except a food truck that might be there and might be open at about the 10-kilometer mark. So we've got some snacks packed in our bags, so let's get going. Vamos. If a regular old pilgrim hostel isn't to your liking, you can stay at the Real Monasterio Sanziolo. And it was a monastery. Now it is a 4-star hotel. The guidebook said that this mobile cafe was about 10 kilometers into our 17. Right now I've only got us tracked at 7.6. Of course, the guidebook is only accurate if you start in the exact same spot they start measuring from, but I don't know where they started measuring from that we're 2.5 kilometers off. But this is a welcome breakfast stop and a nice setup. We are walking right now on an ancient Roman road.
Some of us are dancing on it.
Some of us are. This road bed is about 2,000 years old, and you'll notice that it's lifted up above the fields around it. The Romans did that. The stones that are the bed of the road, more than 100,000 tons of rock that is not native to this area. So it was, the Romans brought it in to build this road bed. They had to elevate the road because this whole area would flood in the wintertime. So they raised this road, and then the Camino has kind of taken it over, of course. It's also an actual road. Farm traffic uses it.
Insert right here. Now let's drop.
But the only thing new about this road is the layer of gravel on top. Everything underneath the gravel, 2,000 years old. So the Romans figured out how to do it. I don't know why we can't on our highways. But
and just like that, sarcasm's back. Well, if we were the complaining type, and we definitely are not the complaining type. The only challenge with this stretch is we have been walking 17 kilometers on the exact same road, going the exact same direction, with the exact same landscape.
We have not seen anything all day.
Oh my gosh.
And look what just peeked over this little hillside. We didn't even know that this village, I mean, we knew that there was a village coming up, but we haven't been able to see it. And you can always see everything. But there's a little valley right here, apparently. And it was hiding this town from us. I don't remember the name of the town.
We've got food.
But I think we have a lunch or morning snack stop. I don't know what to call it at this point.
We call it food.
Not time for a gin tonic or a cerveza yet, though.
No, we got it.
Because after this, we still have 7 kilometers to go. We've moved from the ancient Roman road to the modern highway. And the path walks along, I think it's the N120,
yep,
for like the next 2 days pretty much. So slight change of scenery, but not much.
Time 4 hours 50 minutes 39 seconds. Total distance 22.0 kilometers.
the village of Ledigos. That's the whole thing right there. Everything you see, that's the village. They have a population of 70. I think there are 2 albergues. We're staying in one of them, obviously. And we really don't know anything about this town. We don't know how many restaurants there are, bars, or anything else. We assume we're gonna be able to eat food here tonight. But, well, we maybe should have done a little better research on this village.
It's fine.
Also has a restaurant, a bar. They say they serve rural beer, so I'll be trying one of those soon. Apparently they grill out sometimes. Ooh. But we have arrived. Here in Albergue La Paloma, we are up on the 2nd floor because that's where we seem to always end up. This is an interesting setup. So here is a bunk room that connects to another bunk room, or dormitory room, and combined between the 2 of them there are 19 beds, no bunks, which is an advantage. 19 beds. They have 1 bathroom and 1 shower to these 19 beds. Then out here in the main hallway are lockers for those beds and a 2nd bathroom and shower. The first bathroom just has a shower stall. This one has an actual bathtub, but with this many people, if it were full, you certainly would not be able to take a bath. We are in a private room that is a shared bathroom. So here's our room. I have a video rendering right now. We just have 2 beds in a room that would make a college dormitory seem large. And then there is a 2nd bedroom here with 5 beds, nope, 4 beds. However, one of them is a double bed. So that would be for a couple in the same bed, sharing a bed, plus 3 other people. Not necessarily people that know each other, but that seems like it would be a little odd. We have a little garden area that connects to the bar and restaurant. Here is another toilet. Now there's some more private rooms down this hallway. We have room 3, 2, and 1, and they seem like they're very much like the rooms that we have upstairs. Another common sitting room, and another bunk room, which is connected to a bathroom with a couple of showers and toilets and sinks. So very basic accommodations. Here in the garden.
Okay. How?
No. Here in the garden we have a swimming pool, which is a nice amenity, plus a sink and laundry lines for doing your clothes. Michelle, here at La Paloma, talk to me about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, the pool is nice and cool, so that's a good. I haven't gotten in because honestly, all of these dead bugs keep hanging out with me, and so I'm honestly just not interested in getting in. But it is helping the swelling in my feet, so that's a good. The bad was at first we were out of clothesline, but that seems to have worked out. The ugly is that Fred has joined our room. Did you know Fred's joining our room, Brian? I have a boyfriend now.
I thought you were going to name him Mickey.
No, but he is a mouse, and he is not welcome in our room.
But we did get a visit from him in our room.
Twice. And if he comes back in the middle of the night, Brian and I are going to start walking.
And Michelle might burn down the albergue.
So, you know, like, if I start smoking in the next video, like I've taken up the habit of cigarettes, and isn't that what you do? Isn't that what you do in the movies? I don't know how that works. And I throw it all, and that's what's going to happen. But either way, Brian and I are going to start walking in the middle of the night if anything touches my earlobes or anything. Okay. Go away. It's time for dinner.
Michelle, what are the firsts on tonight's pilgrim menu dinner?
I think there's bean soup. There is garlic soup. I can't remember. What was that third?
What was the third thing, Michelle?
Oh yeah, it's ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Where is it? So, what did you get for your first? Ratatouille.
In honor of our friend here.
Hola.
Good morning. Hello.
It's been a morning already.
Well, do they even know about our place? Did we even take video of our place?
Yes, we took video of our place. They know about our room guest, Stuart Little.
We made it through the night, though.
We made it through the night okay.
Our reward is that it's freezing. So, talk fast.
And getting out of Ledigos is a little tricky.
This little town with only 2 bars and nothing else.
Nothing else.
And a church. 2 bars and a church.
No roads, but yet none of us can find the road to get out. We've seen pilgrims confused for the 5 minutes that we've been standing here dealing with a GoPro battery.
Because we're standing here, people are like, well, which way do you go? Because you're standing at the sign, people. But anyway, it's hard when there's options first thing in the morning because then you want your day to start out easy leaving. You don't have to think about it. You want to see an arrow and just go.
Most of us haven't had our coffee yet because the 2 bars in this town, neither one is open yet.
So there are options. It is confusing. Everyone was pulling up their Wise Pilgrim app. So yay for Wise Pilgrim. Oh, look, the one pilgrim who didn't want to stop and talk to us is just now finding
walking past a third direction.
Hey, we are a community of people who will help.
So we are walking to Sahagun this morning.
17 kilometers.
17 kilometers, so it is a relatively short day for us.
Gracias, thank you. And now she wants to tell us where the right way is.
It's a relatively short day for us this morning. We did that on purpose. For today's walk at least, to Sahagun, vamos.
Let's go.
So another example, arrows leaving town here have been blacked out. This is the correct path. They've been blacked out, they've been repainted.
There's one up there, but...
There is one up here on the leaving Ledigos sign.
But with a blue, and blue is different.
Blue is usually alternates. This is not the alternate, this is the official path. So it's, they got a little bit of a mess here in Ledigos. We are walking into Terra Dios, which is the official end of the stage according to Brierly. We are 3 kilometers from Ledigos. I'm hoping to find some breakfast. We are now walking out of Terra Dios after getting turned around. There were no markings. Had to pull up the app.
Nobody else got turned around.
Okay, we were distracted by the search for food, of which there was none. Yeah, it was Calle Pandaria, so it was Bakery Street, which would imply that there's a bakery on it. There is not.
We went up, we went back down.
So we got a bonus hill. Yay! And we're back on the Camino.
Man, that was a great party in there.
You emerged from
emerged
from your hobbit hole. These bodegas are former storage for their cold storage, basically, for the families who live in this village. They were used to make wine. They were used to store meat, cheese, vegetables. They were often dug by children in the wintertime as something to do. Some families still use them to make wine. Some families use them as little party rooms for family gatherings. And no, there are no hobbits living here.
Camino, pro tip number, I don't know.
Who's been counting?
Who's counting? The pro tip is, let's say you're at bar, restaurant, it's all the same thing, and you're just finishing with your meal.
Your second breakfast or your third breakfast.
And pilgrim walks up, 1, 2, 3, whatever, that you've connected with, and you think, I really want to push on. But you decide to stay for 10 more minutes just to visit with them.
Or maybe you're walking along and decide not to stop, but you see someone that you've connected with sitting there eating, So you decide to stop because they're sitting there eating.
Those are good choices to make because the Camino isn't about Santiago. The Camino is about the journey to Santiago and all the people you meet along the way. So you've met David already, and we'll
Walking
link
with his son Sean.
We'll link their video, the video that they're in. You hear their story. It's a powerful story. David just shared with us at breakfast that he has finally realized today it is not about Santiago, and he doesn't even know if he's going to go to Santiago because he's learned it's about all the people that he's connected with along the way. And that is a powerful lesson to learn. And I also, and Sean, if you're watching this, I pray that you have had some amazing moments on the Camino with your dad, because Sean shared with us just that he's enjoying it more than just being here as the Sherpa, which I'm proud of you, Sean. It's good.
So to summarize the tip there, I guess to boil it down, while many people are walking for their Compostela at the end, the destination of Santiago, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey and the people that you meet along the way. Talk about a good advertising campaign. I know that I know nothing, but the second bar is cool. Socrates. Well, I'm not particularly thirsty, but I want to go to the second bar now. Every now and then you can find a real gem of a cafe bar. It's beautiful, but it's not the second bar. So we're gonna keep on walking because Socrates said so.
As somebody who wanted something to drink and wanted to go to the bathroom, that's where I would have stopped, but it's not the second bar. And we both like Socrates, so let's go.
We were a little concerned that the second bar was gonna be a real dive based on the hype. But we know several of these pilgrims, so I think it's gonna be a good stop. All right, was the second bar better?
I don't know, we didn't go to the first bar.
We didn't go to the first bar, but let me tell you, we were just really looking for drinks and maybe a small sweet snack like a candy bar, which they didn't have.
I can say, I think, no, it wasn't because there wasn't good Wi-Fi, and I really wanted to look ahead to the trail.
Here's our lesson though, because many times pilgrims will walk into a village and they stop at the first bar they see, because many times you don't know if there's a second bar.
You don't want to walk backwards.
And you don't know if there is a second bar, it may or may not be open. So a lot of times pilgrims stop at the first bar they see at the beginning of the village. If you know there are other bars in the village, walk on into town, because many times the second and third bars are less expensive, and many times the quality of the food is better because they're not the first bar. First bars know that they got the rain on you, so.
And if you have cell service, open your phone and just look and see if you can see menus or pictures from the 2 or 3. Gosh, if you have 3, you're lucky. Yeah. But the couple of bars, and that'll help you make a good decision. And we're in.
There we are. Hi. We've made it halfway!
Yay! We're halfway to Santiago, and look at the sunflowers. It's like they're saying, congratulations! Buen Camino!
Don't you want to go further away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries. We'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon.
Today we want to talk to you a little bit about some more budget items.
Money.
But today let's talk about just day-to-day budget for food and other expenses we have along the Camino.
So we budget it based on a couple of different factors. First, if we're in a bigger city, we allow ourselves a little bit more money. And obviously rest days included in that. And then if there's a communal dinner, we budget a little lower. But our typical budget for 2 people for food this time has been 80 euro a day. And that should include all, like if we have to go to the pharmacia, should include everything. So we do have, a budget line that we just have in case there's an emergency or whatever. And so sometimes if we go over, the money's in the emergency part.
We've mostly been pretty on budget. We've had some days that we've been significantly under due to Camino meals and things like that, menu del dia. We've had a few days that we've been significantly over. I suspect, I haven't added up, but I suspect yesterday we were over because the stops that we made just were overpriced.
Especially because if there's only one bar and there's only one bar for 20 kilometers, they can charge whatever they want. And
even our breakfast this morning was 20 euro, which is really high for breakfast. Most days we spend maybe 10 to 12. So it just depends. Sometimes it's the luck of where you stop and sometimes it's not. Now, other things that figure into that $80 a day are just random things we need. For instance, we might have to stop at a market and buy a new tube of toothpaste or another shampoo or deodorant or something like that.
Anti-inflammatory cream.
Pharmacy to get more Band-Aids or whatever other little expenses. And then the other thing that we don't include in that 80 but sometimes gets rolled into it are things like museums and church entries. In the bigger cities where we know we want to go to a specific museum or a specific attraction, we do budget that in extra, like the Ecclesiastical Palace in Astorga. But
taxis, if we spontaneously decide we're done.
So we budgeted for tomorrow's train, but some of the days that we've done a taxi, that wasn't in the budget. It was just an extra expense that we didn't plan for.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
We try, because we've done this, we try really hard to stay on budget. It helps, you all know it helps me stay on budget. Some days we're better at it than others, but I think for 2 people, 80 euros is good. If you don't drink, you could probably go down to 60.
Yeah, you probably could lower that. If you're, we tend to have an afternoon cocktail.
Or two. So that, of course, adds to our budget. It also depends on how you eat. We eat 1 breakfast. Many pilgrims eat 2. We usually have a midday stop where we might get a small snack. Aquarius to drink.
And then we have a lunch. In the afternoon, evening, we usually do some kind of a snack with a cocktail.
Potato chips.
Because dinner is not until, 7 or 8 o'clock. And then we finish the night with our dinner. So we really are eating about 5 times a day. Many days, you might need more food. You might need less food. Every pilgrim is different.
I think the goal is always to set a reasonable budget for you. And that way you can stick to it. We'll talk about how we get our money and how we keep cash on hand and what we do for credit cards and things like that in a bit. What you doing? There are 2 of them. So this is what happens when the person in charge of lodging for booking Carrión makes the wrong albergue.
I was going to say, this is what happened when a husband really loves his wife.
Despite the fact that I may have made the mistake. The albergue that we're staying at tonight in Sahagun opened at 12:30. It is 1 o'clock. We have been here since 12:30, but having orientation. Now, I will say the most impressive thing is the guy was doing orientation in 3 languages. So you got to give him some props. But they throw so much information at you that honestly, I cannot tell you what's going on or what the times were. All I know is we put our hiking sticks in the door when we came in, and then we went down 2 corridors to put our shoes. So I'm not even sure where everything is. And He gave us a lot of information about what's going on tonight, and now we're standing here waiting to be checked in because he's checking in other people. It's a little unfortunate because we've been doing this so long, and every night it's the same routine, just a different place. It's information that could be written down. This is so beautiful, they probably don't want to clutter it up with pieces of paper, but honestly, it would go a lot faster. We are here getting our halfway certificates, which means we're almost there, right? Oh, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Last night's accommodation had a private room but a shared bathroom. The problem was...
And a mouse. Did we mention there was a mouse?
Stuart Little is back in the fields. But it was a long walk to the bathroom. This time, the bathroom's right here. But we are in room number 1. Who's number 1? Who's number 1? A place for our suitcase, 2 big beds, and our own bathroom.
I haven't even seen the bathroom yet.
Oh, I have. And a shower. I can step in the whole thing. I'm in stretch in the shower. I really need to take one though, so you all...
Look at that plumbing though. Boy, there's a lot going on there.
I really need to take one though, so goodbye.